The following podcast is brought to you exclusively by the Rad Rob Radio Network.
On this edition of Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr., we welcome Johnny Petraglia Jr. to the show. 167 episodes. Johnny has never been a guest on the show. He's going to be in the hot seat. Have your questions ready. Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. starts now.
This is PBA champion Kyle Troop.
Hey y'all, Jacob Electric here.
Hey guys, Chuck Ritchie here, formerly of Bowl TV.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Schaefer of track staff at Valley Bowling Center in Waverly, New York.
And you're listening to Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr.
Yo, the boys from Straight Up 5, Rad Rob, Dr Ocho, and of course JP Jr.
As you know, JP Jr. used to be introduced as the sexiest man in bowling, and now the world. But he doesn't have the best hair in the world. I do. Sorry, bud, but you know the deal. Pick it out. Fear the fro, baby.
Welcome to Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. A hard-hitting, in-depth, cutting-edge look into the world of bowling. This podcast will not only cover all things bowling, but will also give you a raw look into real-life issues. You'll get unfettered access into the mind of one of the most gifted bowlers of this or any other generation.
Strike, and they claim it. Similarly does it.
So without further ado, let's introduce you to the hosts of the show. Rad Rob, Rob Francois. Rad Rob, Rob Francois. Dr Ocho. Dr Ocho. And the incomparable Johnny Petraglia Jr. Johnny Petraglia Jr.
Hey guys, welcome back to Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. I am your host, Rad Rob, right here. Rad Rob. Rob Francois.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Man, their chicken dippers are good. I don't know if you've had them yet. They're like these little like strips, like chicken fries from Burger King, except from Popeyes. Yeah, I may have fallen off the wagon. Got back on. Well, somebody helped me get back on. All right, so I got a ladder, climbed back on the wagon, fell off again, had more chicken, then got back on the wagon, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. Let's see who's in the chat. We got Crambone. Hello, Crambone. What's up, brother? Billy Yen's in the house. What's going on? BSJ83. Starting only 1 minute after the top of the hour this time, getting better. That's true. Nico Puhar, our resident statistician and reporter.
I do.
Sorry, bud. Everybody sound off. Come on, we got 27 in here. You guys, we only like 3 of you. 4 of you said something. Sound off. Come on, let's go. Sound off. Everybody sound off. Have you found your neck yet? Where's the ban button? There we go. Justin DiBianca, what's going on, brother? What's going on? Staying man's in the house. What up? What up? All right, let's bring in my first co-host while you guys file in and see if you want to talk or not. Make sure you got your questions ready for old JP Jr. Bitch. Excuse me. Let's bring in a co-host with the largest arms in the podcast. Who got the golden mask. Resident doctor of Straight Up 5, the house hack from Howell Lanes. Thinks Rocky is a jabroni. We got to get into that one of these episodes. Dr. Ocho, what's up, guns?
He's a jabron. He's got 24 fucking losses. Who the hell has 24 fucking losses? In my opinion, nobody except for Rocky, the dummy kid from Philly. Fuck him.
How did he get a title shot then?
Because it was all fluky. It was all bullshit. Why is that one fucking...
He still went toe-to-toe with Apollo Creed. Almost won.
And then what happened with the second fight with Apollo Creed? Apollo beat his ass for fucking 12 rounds to 3, maybe 13 rounds to 2, and lost in the last second of the fight. That's all that happened. That's all that happened, and then Apollo retired. He was a dummy.
All right, but he beat Dolph Lundgren. He beat Ivan Drago.
Well, hey, look, that may have happened, but I'm just
he got
saying,
the shit beat out of him.
Go by the record, Rocky was so-and-so and 24.
That's
50 and 24.
How many fights have you won, Oach?
Don't matter. Look, I'm not involved. It don't matter to me. Don't matter to me. Just fucking don't. That's right. Now we're talking.
What's up, Dave Wolven? Bear's in the house. Where you been, Bear? We haven't seen you lately.
Doesn't matter. He's always good. He's always
good. Be cow. What up, dog?
I don't know what to do anymore. Goddamn shit. I don't know what to do.
Good evening, Valerie. Good evening. What up, Skyers? Eat poop.
I'm talking to you. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's fair. For the doctor, happy birthday, Nicole. Yeah, we haven't seen Nicole in a while either. It's weird.
That don't matter. Don't matter.
I think you scared her off. Your arms are too.
On here.
Your arms are too big, bro.
Don't matter. Don't matter.
Will JP get hour-long highlight packaging? No, because there's literally there's like 17 seconds of him bowling all over the internet.
True.
Unfortunately, he doesn't have any highlights. But in any event, let's bring in. There she. Hold on. There she is. Hold on.
Hi, I'm super excited to be able to wish Ocho a happy birthday today.
I haven't played that in weeks. I think. Hello, Nicole. Happy birthday. Mr. B's in the house. What's up, Mr. B? Mr. B's best is in Queensbury, New York. I don't know if you knew that, Coach.
He's not here, by the way. I was kidding. I was totally kidding.
Oh, he's not here. Okay, all right. Well,
you got to bring him in.
There's nobody else here except for you. I can't bring him in. He's not on his own camera. Can you tilt it? Hey, it's our very special guest.
Get a little more of that. There you go.
Johnny Petraglia Jr. and Evelyn.
Had to bring the entire support group tonight for this episode. I'm scared shitless.
Well, it was your idea.
I'm not going to lie. I'm actually really excited. And I heard you say Dave Wolven's name, and I know Justin and Julian are watching too, but Rob, I messaged you earlier. This was all Dave's idea. He said, you know what? You guys have been doing this for like 3 years. Isn't it time that... Why don't
I should have... Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I said, that feels selfish, but in the same respect, I'm like, you know what? Throw me in the hot seat. I'm ready for it. So I brought my support group. I'm here with my best bud, my doc, little Gigi and Jen inside, watching Dr. Bill or whatever it is, or...
Hey, Steph.
Mark or whatever it may be, Miss Rachel. But, yeah, we're ready.
Jeff Skyers wants to know if Nicole can wish him a happy birthday like Ocho. It's coming up September 9th. That's right. That's hilarious. That's 5 days.
My birthday's every day.
True, every day. At least the dog's outside when it cuts one. That is true. You don't have to worry about shitting in the corner of your parents' room.
He remembers. BSJ83, thank you so much for that, because now I could actually taste it again. So that's awesome.
That's fair. Well, JP... after 167 episodes, we're finally getting to learn. I mean, we've learned a lot about you, but what are we trying to accomplish tonight? What was the plan having you on?
Well, truthfully, for me, through thick and thin, the biggest thing is I always like to converse. I always like to engage and actually give my true point of view from what I've experienced in my life in this one field that I know more than anything. I have friends that come up to me and say, God, you do that so effortlessly when you're bowling, you do this. And I'm like, meanwhile, I'm like, what you do is effortless. And so a lot of times people ask me intimate questions about what it was like growing up and all this other stuff as far as having a legendary dad in the sport. But truthfully, this all spawned, like I said a few minutes ago, from me and Dave sitting, and shout out to Dave. Thank you for the beautiful, beautiful gift. I was gifted a 6-string acoustic by Donner for my birthday coming up.
Nice.
From my dear friend who I'm learning how to play guitar from. And eventually, maybe one of these days, Ocho and I and Dave will all put a song together for the show. But I kind of just want to be here almost in the same capacity that Parker Bone was last week. I want to answer questions honestly and tell you everything you guys want to know about me personally, what I've experienced in the world of bowling, not being at the pinnacle level like all the guests we've had before. And just, in general, I like answering questions, Rad Rob. That's all there is to it.
Well, that's good. I like giving questions or asking questions. Hopefully Ocho doesn't interrupt me Dr. Interrupto. So
no, I think he's pretty solid tonight. We actually spoke about
this. Everything. Fuck everything. You know what? Fuck this show. I'm leaving. Fuck this. I'm out of here. I'm out. I'm out for fucking good fucking job.
All right, good. Now we can get down to brass tacks. I don't know if we ever asked you this, John.
Let me block out this light.
What was your first earliest memory of picking up a bowling ball and actually bowling? I don't know if we've ever asked you that.
So I have videos of my actual true first memories of bowling, but I don't actually remember them. My first ever true memory was bowling on lanes 35 and 6, which is the old TV pair at Carolier Lanes, now called Bolero, North Brunswick. And during that time, that was all. The first few years of the JP Open, they did it downstairs in the lower house, lanes 73, 74. And then they moved it to lanes 35 and 36. I believe it was 1992, the year that Dave Ferraro ran the ladder and also won Player of the Year. And I remember saying to my dad right around that time, because I was 8 years old and I was around all the guys that I was starting to fall in love with, like what they do for a living. And I decided, hey, Dad, let's drill me some bowling balls. And I had a conventional New York Jets plastic ball at the time from Brunswick. And I was definitely going full roller release, not the correct fingers under it like we're all used to. And somehow, some way, I remember aiming like Parker at the foul line, and I threw a six-bagger. And I think the ball was 10 pounds. And the late, great Jack Kordusky at that time was managing the bowling center, and also the late, great O.J. Olszewski was operating the pro shop, which was behind lanes 1 and 2. And I fell in love with the sport. Aside from everything that came afterwards, that's actually my first memory of bowling. The first memory I have on video was when my dad did a charity event with the Miami Dolphins down in Florida at one of Don Carter's bowling centers.
Oh, wow.
And I had a Superman ball drilled. It was bright yellow. It said Superman across the label right in the middle of my palm. I think my span was maybe 2 inches, about the same length as my pinky. And at this point in my life, I'm like, all right, they make a bet. The Miami Dolphins say to the first person in the crowd that raises their hand and makes a bid that Johnny Jr. keeps the ball on the lane. And I actually keep it on the lane, and I'm aiming. There's videos of this. Denny Schreiner was actually the commentator. And I leave a baby split. I leave the left-hander's baby split, a 2-7. And I turn around, and I'm coming off the approach. I'm really, really excited about what just happened. And Denny Schreiner gets on the microphone and says, the Miami Dolphins just said, if Junior makes the spare, they'll buy this lucky fan a brand new Cadillac. So this is 1987 or 1988 down in Florida.
Okay.
And lo and behold, yours truly makes the spare. And I don't know if that fan got the New Brunswick Rhino bowling ball at the time. I don't know if they got the Cadillac, but all I know was I slapped high fives with a few Miami Dolphins, and watching it on video right now, like to this day at the age of 40, going on 41 next month, I am so goddamn blessed to have experienced something like that and now have a VHS tape, which is the reason why everybody that's interested, why the family's got at least 3 VCRs still new in box at the house.
Right. That's smart. That's smart. I still have a couple of myself. If you ever can, get that shit digitized. I would love to put that on the show and on our YouTube channel. Like, that's gold.
I think we can do that.
Yeah, we'll have to work on that. Jeff Skyers wants to know, JP, what's in the bag? Have you thrown anything new? He has a pulse, a crown victory, and a combat waiting to make some dust with Jaden. Thoughts?
This is actually a great question because I've drilled all 3 of these, and 2 of them are actually still in my bag. Personally, every once in a while, a bowling ball will come out that everybody loves that I just happen to not like. It just doesn't roll or see the lane where I want it to. So I was not a big fan of the Crown Victory. I actually gave it to another stud that bowls in Majestic. His name's David Kramarski. And even he said it's a little bit wishy-washy down lane as a like a ball like an IQ Tour or a Phase 2 or a Jackal Ghost. Like balls like that, like that are just extremely predictable from front to back. a hammer effect tour. That ball just didn't seem to have it for me. The pulse itself, out of box was a little bit too much for me early. It was very, very rolly, but I'm assuming it's going to be a great tournament ball. Rob, hang on 1 second.
Sure.
1 second. Every once in a while, you got to tell the dog to stop yelling at the baby.
Right.
Because the louder the baby yells, the louder the dog yells.
Yeah.
So, as far as the pulse, what I actually did through a Premier Pro Shop at Chris Fisher's place in Majestic Lanes is I actually took it up to 4,000 and polished it. And I was, at that point, able to actually fire the ball. And again, I'm speaking house shop because that's predominantly what I bowl on, whether it's a local tournament or something going on or around the tri-state area. And the last bowling ball that Jeff was asking about was the
Combat.
The Combat. So funny enough, I talked to, hang on 1 second, Rob, I'm going to close this door.
Okay.
Because this will make it a lot easier.
Live TV, folks. That's what happens when you go live without a net. Speaking of live without a net, that's actually a great Van Halen concert. Sammy Hagar's first concert. Anyway, hey.
And as far as the Combat, I talked to Parker Bone, obviously, on the show last week, and he had said that if you sand it, he sanded the ball he used at the TSC against Janowitz to 1,000. And from there, I took mine to the same thing, and now it's a little bit more predictable. They're all very, very good balls, all definitely totally different from one another. So if you're looking to fill a void in your bag, definitely check the numbers, Jeff. Check what you've got going on. Check what you think is the best in your bag or what you're missing, and then I can add a little bit more from there. But the coolest thing about Brunswick, or any other company for that matter, because we're never partial here, even though I'm lifelong Brunswick,
right,
is everybody's got great bowling balls, and they always try and fill the voids that their company is missing.
Absolutely. Judson DiBianca wants to know, speaking of your dad, who else has inspired your game along the way? Anyone you wanted to be like? I know you've mentioned Mark Roth. I'm sure Parker. Anybody else that you might not have mentioned in the past?
Well, I mean, for everybody tuning in this week, growing up, I mean, the first real sniff I got of the PBA Tour was 1994 when Dad made the show at the National Championship in Toledo and happened to bowl the $100,000 300 on ABC Wide World of Sports. So that was my initiation. But the people I admired from that point moving forward, number one was, again, I've mentioned Parker Bone and Jason Couch a million times on this show. And I always kind of wanted to be a hybrid of the two of them as far as the way that I threw it. But the people I really, really admired and wanted to be like, number one was always Danny Wiseman. Danny Wiseman was the cleanest, most gentle style I had ever seen, mixed with a little bit of metal rock and roll.
Yeah,
always had the Roush Mustang or whatever kind of Mustang it was. Like, he was a badass to me.
Yep.
And then he started wearing leather pants, and he had that gorgeous mullet, so I fell in love with that as a kid, obviously. Similar to Danny Wiseman, I would also say was probably Amleto Monticelli. Amleto's approach to life, even at a young age, he was just a different kind of person. No matter whatever interfered in his life, he always kept moving forward. He always ran his 5 miles every single morning, every single week around that hotel. I would watch him. I'd watch him leave the gym and then go eat breakfast and then go shower and bowl the 8 a.m. squat. Not to mention, he was the first guy I ever really saw go completely perpendicular from the foul line with his shoulders and still somehow, some way, never ever let the elbow fly.
Yep.
So if I really
Happy birthday, by the way, Amleto.
Oh, and a third one, this is going to probably shock a lot of people, is Randy Peterson.
Really?
Randy Peterson was always the fun-loving guy who always told jokes that made everybody happier regardless of the mood they were in. But the second his feet were on that approach, he was out for your throat.
Yeah.
And he did it kindly, he did it aggressively, but he was nurturing at the same time, always gracious to his opponents. And it's no wonder why a lot of people don't know this about Randy Peterson. Randy's a 13-time titleist, but Randy only made TV like 40 or 45 times.
Mm-hmm.
He had one of the best records from the top seed of anybody. Forget about Tommy Jones, Danny Wiseman, and Jim Pensack and bowlers like that. The man was an absolute genius when it came to entertaining, very much like a Carmen Salvino. So if I really had to pick three, other than, well, the obvious being Dad, Parker, and Couch, those would probably be the three that I really looked at and said, wow, one day I hope I can do something like that.
I mean, there's no three better guys, honestly. I mean, and Danny, I treasure Danny. Danny messages me every day. He sends me memes and stuff that he can't post because he doesn't want to piss people off. So, but I mean, he's still metal, by the way. Like he's awesome. I really like Danny a lot. Have you ever thrown a Mineral Light? Wayne Chester wants to know.
Wayne, great question. I have the original ad from the newspaper back then, where the Mineral Light cost like $15.95, and the shoes that went along with it were $3.95. And I never actually threw a Mineral Light, other than one I may have found on the rack at a local bowling center during that time.
Right.
I did throw that puke green Manhattan rubber, courtesy of Mark Kimball, yours truly at the pro shop at Nob Hill Country Lanes here in New Jersey. And truthfully, one of my favorite balls of all time is the original, JPLT 48. Because that ball, even to this day, rolls like a dream. It rolls like a purple hammer.
Dude, I can't tell you how many people still praise that ball. I see it in the forums. I see it on YouTube videos. Like, people still... they cherish that ball. They really do.
Yeah, it was a goodie, man. It was the ball, the same way Roth broke the stroker to cranker barrier. That rubber LT kind of broke the barrier of hardness to softness. Dad was called into the meeting room, and they'd said, "Hey, Johnny, you want the ball to be plastic, the new cutting edge thing? It could be this color, it could be pearlized." And Dad said, "No, I want it to be a soft rubber bowling ball, like the softest ball allowed." And somehow, some way, somewhere in that rubber cork, they found some Japanese cherry pit powder, or whatever the secret ingredient was, and the ball just hugged the lane from front to back, and it virtually took, even back then, lane's conditions out of play. As far as the Mineral Light was always very similar to an AMF 3 dot or whatever other company had their hard, like low 90 hardness rubber ball at the time.
Yeah.
And, but as far as the Mineral Light, Wayne, great question. I've thrown a few off the rack, like the same thing with the yellow dots, but no, I never actually had one blank drilled. No.
BSJ83 wants to know, does JP Jr. have any memory when ABC TV did a segment of Mark Roth throwing slow pitch wiffle balls and your dad was catching? I actually remember. I've seen that several times.
So this was the inaugural year of the Johnny Petraglia Open at Carolier Lanes in 1991.
Yep.
Pete Weber, for all of you bowling fanatics, the previous week was the Fairlanes Open. That was the week that Del Ballard threw the double in the 10th frame and then guttered to lose to Pete Weber.
Yep.
And the following week, Pete Weber winds up leading the Johnny Petraglia in North Brunswick, throwing an AMF Bobcat on the show, rocking a Black Cobra shirt. That's how stupid my brain is. So, like I said, fire away with all your questions. And during intermission on that show, after Bob Benoit beats Dave Traber and Charlie Tapp, before he's about to bowl Norm Duke, about halfway through that show, they do a little up close and personal with Dad. And I remember the camera crew coming to our house, 15 Rowena Road, Manalapan, New Jersey. And the lot across the street, they were still building the house. And Mark Roth showed up, and he was catching, and Dad was pitching, and my hands were the complete wrong way, and this and that, and Dad was throwing them high. His game was off that day. And then I finally I smacked one. And I'm telling you, to this day, that was probably the hardest I've ever hit any kind of wiffle ball, baseball, softball. It doesn't matter. But that was, like memories like that, I will always, always have, and I will obviously never forget them. People ask me about it all the time, and then once the question is asked and the answer has been given, I'll sit back and remember moments like that and be like, wow, man, this is another moment that a lot of people didn't really get to experience or understand.
And the interview with your dad was very moving, talking about Vietnam and all that. He got very choked up, about his life and his family and Vietnam and all that. So it was really, it was a really great moment to capture.
Oh, absolutely. And Dad's always been an emotional man. Dad's entire life is dedicated to the well-being of everybody else.
Yeah.
It's the reason why he's, nervous all the time. He wants everything to be perfect for the benefit of everybody around him.
Yep.
He was like that then. He's like that now. The only thing that people seem to miss about my dad is every single time his back's against the wall, he kicks the living shit out of you.
That's right.
So he's a good mix of the brain always knows what to do, and he's just he's a great man, and he always has been. And anybody you ever talk to about my dad will say the exact same thing, because at least I'm 40 now, and I've never heard anybody say a bad thing about him.
Never.
And how often do you really come across somebody that you can say that about?
It's very, very rare. It really is. Same thing with Parker. Just, the two guys they're salt of the earth. I mean, they really are. Billy M wants to know, hey, Johnny, I'm joining a 36-week sports shot league just to get experience. Have you bowled on sport patterns? Any tips or advice?
Yeah, Billy, great question. I'll tell you something that was told to me by Packy Hanrahan, of all people, another fantastic bowler. Packy and actually Anthony Simonson. These are the two guys that said the exact same thing to me. And in my years actually trying to bowl on tour, Rhino Page. So here's from three different guys through three completely different games. They all say the exact same thing. When you're on a house shot, you can hit it. You can go after it. You can get on it as much as you want, throw flames, do whatever you want. When you're on a sport, you have to be gentle. You have to allow the lane to take the ball. So the reason why you can get away with bowling on a house shot with 2 or 3 balls for an entire season is you can just hit it harder, harder, and harder. And you can't get away with it on tour is the harder you hit it and the harder you try and make something happen on a sport pattern, it's not going to happen. So learn how to be gentle. Understand that coast to coast and banging it off the gutter and playing the shim doesn't exist in that world anymore. You look at guys like EJ, you look at guys like Belmo, look at guys like Simo, Kyle Troop, 4 more completely different games, but they're all doing the exact same thing. They're using the right ball to create the right motion at the right break point down lane, and none of them are ever grabbing it. There's bowlers that grab it, that get away with it once in a while, i.e. bowlers like a Mike Devaney, a DJ Archer, bowlers that really, really hit up on it, and you'll see them here and there. But for the most part, the biggest thing on sport is leave your ego at the door, find that bucket, throw everything you think you know about bowling if you're a house shot bowler, and teach your body to do something a little bit different, because that's the difference. That's why the guys on tour are so fantastic. It's also why they have a hard time on house shots when they come back after bowling on nothing but sport for an entire season.
It's true. Chuck Ritchie Jr., Cousin Cinco, says, fellas, sorry for being late. Me and Rudy Revs just got done making the cut in Kingsport. Let's go. Good job, guys.
Excellent. Excellent to Rudy Revs. Congrats, brother. Let's see you take it all the way now.
Jules Stone, welcome to the show. Has there been an impact in your bowling career that affected your personal growth and development as an individual off the lanes? That's a good question.
So first off, Jules is one of my favorite people on the planet. She's just a good person. So Jules, thanks for being here. I'll get a little bit deeper here with this question, because a lot of people ask me this all the time. Yeah, one of the biggest impacts on my bowling career, there's actually 2 of them. Number 1, my dad's one of the best that's ever lived. And number 2, I'm left-handed and talented. And so my entire life has been, oh, Johnny's son is bowling. Let's see how he does today. Oh, he bowled 180. He stinks. Oh, he's a spoiled brat. He gets everything handed to him.
Sure.
He gets this. Oh, Johnny went 700 over today. He's left-handed. So my entire life has always been a little bit of a shadow of the greatness, not only of the bowling, but the human being my dad is.
Right.
So I've always been a little bit nervous in the bowling world, whereas I don't just let it go as if I was my own name, Not say I would ever change my name for anything, but those are 2 things that have definitely affected my brain. They've definitely, just like anybody else, like people will pop in and say, "Oh, I'm bowling a sport league for the experience," which we just had that question. That's kind of almost code for saying, I don't think I'm good enough to beat these guys.
Right.
And I'm saying that respectfully.
Sure.
It's kind of the same thing with me, is when I go to a bowling tournament, I'll go in there, and instead of worrying about knocking down 10 pins more than everybody else, I'm worrying about who's saying what behind me, who's criticizing what beverage I have on the table, who's criticizing the way I was raised, and all this other stuff. But I'll tell you the truth, if I didn't have that, I don't think I would be so central-minded nowadays,
right?
So willing to engage in what other people are going through too, because at the end of the day, you kind of learn that everybody's got their own things going on. So I guess the same exact thing that was an impact, I'm assuming this question was like in a negative or a positive way. I feel like this question kind of feels both.
Yeah.
This question negatively and positively impacted me. So now moving forward in this second half of my life, because I am over the hill now, I can figure out a way to use it wisely.
Has it gotten easier as you've gotten older, as you've gotten more mature to handle?
It's gotten more contained. I'm not as vocal about it anymore. I shake hands now. I kind of give him the Parker method. Like the year that I was watching Parker lead the field by 400 pins at the Touring Players Championship at Stonehenge in Akron in 1998. Right when CBS took over after the last year of ABC. I remember a guy, after Parker was demolishing the field, I heard a guy say, "Parker, left's pretty good this week, huh?" And Parker said, "I know you. You're left-handed also. I saw you in the Pro-Am. Imagine if you were here bowling on this. In the actual tournament, you'd have probably beaten me by 200 pins. That's how easy the left was." As almost if to say, fuck you two, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
I've kind of gotten there, where it's like, I know I'm talented enough to beat a certain echelon of players. I understand the game and the way it works mentally and physically. But now, the truth of the matter is I just love the game, and always have. It's one of the true things I've stuck with my entire life.
Yeah. Just to ask a follow-up of that, have you ever talked to any other second-generation or third-generation stars or bowlers that have gone through the same thing? That, like a Ryan Barnes. I mean, there's plenty of second-generation bowlers.
Sure, I mean,
pros.
I'll give you two conflicting stories, and I'll keep it a little bit shorter because I know I'm starting to ramble. The first conversation I ever had with the spawn of a legend was Pete Weber. It was 1997, the year the Blue Thunder, the Lightning, I can't even remember the other storm balls, but all I know is that the Blue Thunder glue in the dark. It had the new PBA logo on the side of the ball. Half of it was orange, half of it was yellow. They had a tour edition with a different color pin. And I remember wanting that ball desperately, and of course 13-year-old spoiled brat John, which they're actually kind of right about, goes up to Brian Berg, the Storm rep at the Johnny Petraglia Brunswick Open at Carolier that year, and says, "Brian, I would love to get a Blue Thunder," gives me one, and OJ says, "John, I'll drill this for you, just got to get an okay from Dad." So I had the front desk lady at Panico's restaurant in New Brunswick. My dad was at a full-fledged CEO Brunswick meeting asking his permission to drill a storm ball at the Brunswick Johnny Petraglia Open. That didn't fan so well.
Yeah.
But I remember Pete saying in the aftermath, "John, just remember one thing. Your dad's already proud of you the same way mine was. My dad was also, if not the greatest ambassador the sport's ever seen, and also my dad's idol."
Yeah.
He said, "I threw AMF for a long time because I liked the ball. My dad was lifelong with AMF. But eventually I left AMF because I'm Pete. I'm not Dick." And it didn't change anything between us. So I had that side of the combo. And then the other side I had was Kyle Troop, because I spent most of my time growing up hanging out with Guppy Troop and drinking. Well, I drank my tequila. He drank his Crown.
Yeah.
And he was one of the greatest guys ever. And then to see Kyle Troop come up and do what Kyle has done, Kyle does nothing but praise where he came from. He wears the outfits. He has the hair. He's gentle and entertaining to the public. So you have two different kind of stories there. So I guess when it came to talking to two different ends of the spectrum, the biggest thing for me when it came to my dad was my dad said, do whatever you want. Model yourself after whoever you want. But at the end of the day, just remember, if you really, really actually care about your image for other people, just kind of like weigh the odds, like weigh the differences. And I always kept that somewhere in my brain. I faltered one way or the other several times in my life, just like anybody else would. But you know, you learn from the greats of the game. And speaking of those two, talk about those four greats of the game, the dads and the sons.
Valerie Schloer wants to know, who's your all-time favorite bowler besides your dad?
Jesus. Hi, Val. This is a tough question. My all-time favorite bowler besides my dad.
I'm sure you have several, but I mean, is there one that maybe early on? Well, no, just overall. Who's
my
who do you
favorite
still love?
bowler?
Who do you still love to go back and watch?
My favorite bowler to watch. My favorite bowler to watch of all time is Robert Smith.
I agree.
There's no question there.
Yeah.
With that, everybody watches EJ Tackett now, and I watch EJ, and I'm like, my God, look at this guy. The same way I watch Norm Duke, Pete Weber, you name it, Brian Voss. But when I watch Robert Smith throw a bowling ball, he makes me shiver.
Right. I was gonna say, it gives me goosebumps.
Yeah. My hair stands on end when I watch that man throw a bowling ball.
1,000%. I absolutely agree with that one. Hodley Stadler wants to know, who's Johnny's favorite Stadler and why?
Well, I mean, this isn't even a toss-up because I'm sick and tired of losing to Jason Stadler. And Holly always has the greatest fragrance ever. So I actually will go out of my way at tournaments when I'm bowling bad just to smell her wrist and rub it on my shirt. That way, the next time I want to kill somebody, I just sniff my shirt and my wrist. Yeah, so I'm going to go with Holly on that question.
Justin DiBianco wants to know, you've been everywhere. Top 3 bowling centers you've ever bowled at?
Nutmeg Bowl in Fairfield, Connecticut.
Let's
home
go.
of Buddy's Pro Shop.
Yep.
Brunswick Zone or Carolier Lanes or Bolero North. Actually, no, not Bolero, North Brunswick.
Carolier.
Either Brunswick Zone Carolier or Lee Livingston's Carolier Lanes is number 2.
Yeah.
And South Point in Vegas.
Really? I didn't think you put South Point up there. I mean, I know you spent a lot of time there, but you love that.
And that goes for the arena or the regular bowling alley.
Yeah. Okay.
Those are my top 3. Those are, and what's slowly creeping in 4th place is Majestic Lanes in Hope Lawn / Woodbridge.
Not Howell, huh?
No, I don't like Howell. I struggle with Howell. I mean, I love Howell. I don't like bowling at Howell.
That's fair.
I go there with 9 bowling balls for league, and I go out to my car at least once a week.
Yeah, no, that's
I don't like. I have a hard time at Howell.
Dave Wolven wants to know, what's the best lesson you learned from Dad outside of bowling? What life lesson? I'm sure he's given you tons, but
when my dad and mom used to come to every single one of my baseball games from the time I was 8 until the time I got to college. Through the time that I was drafted by the Cleveland Indians. I'm not sure if any of you know that. Thank you, Phil Rossi, for giving me that opportunity, but you did it a little bit too young, and I was a little bit too short to be a first baseman. But the biggest lesson I learned from my dad and my mom, because I have to throw my mom in this one too, is they always were tough enough on me, and the last thing they would always both say to me was, and no matter what happens, I still love you. It was always my grandparents. I'm even going to add to that. My grandparents always used to say that no matter what they went through, my grandfather would look at my grandmother, Carmela, and he would say, I haven't opened my fucking mail in 60 years. But I'll tell you one thing I also don't do is I never go to bed mad. I kiss that woman every night, and I tell her I love her. Every night. Come on, I'll knock you on your ass. He would say that to me all the time. The same way my parents did. And for me, that was always my, no matter what happens, you got a support group behind you. And any professional athlete at any level will always tell you that sometimes is the difference between the separation of good and great, is that support system. And it doesn't necessarily have to be family. It could be friends. It could be acquaintances. It doesn't matter. But if you have somebody behind you all the time, just like you always have, if you're a police officer, you always have backup. If you're in the Army, you've always got you got your wingman in the sky, whatever it may be. You have somebody singing backup vocals while you're on stage, whatever the case may be. If you have a support group that you know will be there if you start to stumble, it changes everything. And every once in a while, we all crack a bowling ball. We hit a scoring monitor. We bitch about lane conditions. We bitch about topography. Oh, the temperature is so hot in here. They don't treat bowlers the right way. Oh my God, I'm so mad. Everybody does their own thing. That was for you, Dave, because you asked the question. But yeah, that's probably the best lesson I learned. And then when you watch the pinnacle of any sport, they all operate the exact same way.
Do you actually realize how many people you have that support you?
Yes.
And I know there's people that are hangers on and people that love your dad and may just like you because of because of your name. But I mean, I've told you this plenty of times privately, you're a remarkable person and you have tons of people that love you and support you. You really do.
Appreciate that, Rob. And speaking of one of those people, just because I see her name up in the chat, I actually have to send out not only a hello to my West Coast mom, Phyllis. You don't have to leave. You're welcome on the show.
Jeez, Oach. What the hell?
See you later, Oach. But my West Coast mom, Phyllis, I was informed that you're going to be a grandmother. Just make sure she doesn't put any ketchup on her spaghetti like Marie did. And congratulations to Gina and Vaughn and to Grandma Phyllis. We know you're going to be the best, the same way I'm going to be the best uncle on September 19th.
Hell yeah, you are. Del Picard, JP, can you and your dad make it to the High Hopes weekend in New Hampshire?
Del, I don't know when it is. I'm assuming that's at Strikers East at Steve Hardy's place. I know I'm craving some of those steak tips soaked in the Coca-Cola. So I would absolutely love to be there. I'm not sure if Dad can get there. And I kind of start my new career at the end of this month. But at least please keep me informed as to when it is this year. I would absolutely love to come back up there. What a fantastic venue. I was actually talking to a friend about this, Dave Wolven. I was actually talking about this bowling alley in the parking lot at Howell Lanes last night. How ironic that just popped
Small
up.
world. I want to know more about these steak tips. I might go just for that.
Oh, dude, if you ever have Steve Hardy's steak tips at Strikers East in New Hampshire, I really can't explain it. It's that fabulous.
I might have to make a trip. What else? We got lots of questions here. Oh, congratulations to Skyers, by the way. I saw this on Facebook. 14 months sober yesterday. Where are you at in your journey, John, for the last 4 months? You look great right now. I mean, have you? How have you been?
I took, you know what, Jeff? I got caught with this once before. I took 2 solid months off, and I've slipped here and there in the last 2 months. But
is there a track race going on there? That's twice.
That's Ocho. Ocho had to go get milk.
Okay.
So
okay.
He said he'd be right back. I'm assuming
okay.
That's what that was.
No, that sounds like it.
But no, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I've slipped here and there the last few months. At least slipped according to me. So I have not been 4 months. I cannot even praise myself, but I will praise you, Jeff, for 14 months. The same way I will praise the man who made me say what I just said right now. And congrats to you on 4th of July as well, brother.
Hell yeah, Jeff.
I'm actually doing very, very well with it. I'm not in love with it the way that I used to be.
Good.
And it's not controlling my life anymore. My responsibilities are now. But I'm not sit here and lie to you and tell you that I haven't had it in 4 months, because that would be bullshit.
No, and you've always been honest. I mean, the entire time we've done this show, and this is a hard-hitting, in-depth, cutting-edge show, and not just about bowling, but life. I'm going to ask you the hard question. You haven't really mentioned it publicly.
Well, I'm here. I'm on the hot seat tonight.
It was controlling your life for a long time. I mean, it really was.
It was.
And it was, unfortunately, we saw it on a couple of our shows, which led to us taking a month off, to where you had a whole slew of people that we're trying to help you. Me, Parker, Stephanie. I mean, you have an endless support system, but I mean, I commend you for making the change because it literally was. I'm going to be honest, Johnny. It was. If you ever seen the movie Leaving Las Vegas with Nicolas Cage,
Ironically, I kind of may have mentioned that movie to a couple of very important people because that's actually where I was. But the best thing that came out of it is a lot of things that I do, especially in the bowling world, are a little bit highlighted. Again, like I said earlier, because of the name, left-handed. I'm a little outspoken, I'm a little off the wall, a little wacky. But I also take it as a positive because every single person that's ever extended their hand, given me hard words, said to me, JP, you're not only ruining your life, you're ruining mine, and I don't want to be friends with you anymore. The amount of people that have gone out of their way to try and protect somebody else in need, and I'm not talking about just me. This is, I have friends that are significantly in debt from gambling. I have friends with severe opioid addictions. I have friends who are going through personal issues that nobody here even knows about.
Right.
And I fought it long and hard enough and tried enough different avenues, and I eventually reached a point where I said, I'm tired of hurting everybody all the time. It's like the one time I was actually selfless rather than selfish because I don't give a shit how much I harm myself. You guys go back and you look at videos and pictures of me when I was full-blown weightlifting. It's obvious what I was doing other than training. We don't have to talk about it.
Right.
Everybody goes through their own trials and tribulations at some point, right? And the coolest thing for me was the support behind it because it's almost an extension of somebody saying, I've been through something similar in my own world, so I want to at least offer you the advice I have. And gathering that from all those people, to tell you the truth, I'm actually not embarrassed to say I was an alcoholic or am an alcoholic because I don't really have that negative connotation on it anymore. What I actually have now is the knowledge that everybody else is sending to me to let my brain know that I'm capable of beating it if I want to.
Right.
And now opportunities are throwing themselves at me again the way that they were the first time that I tried to at least be responsible in some capacity with it. And to everybody that's ever reached out their hand to me, please know that everything you do, it doesn't go unnoticed. And I love each and every one of you for you and know that I'll be here in the exact same capacity for you guys. Rob, what else is going on as far as the chat? What else is these
Let's
people got
see. Mr. I Do got married over the weekend. That's right. Congratulations.
Yes,
I do.
The new Mrs. Brianna Troop. That's fantastic. I texted him on his wedding day to congratulate him, and he actually answered me back. So he's a good dude. He really is. Carl Buckley says the son of a legend is a legend, which is why it's literally in the intro of our show that you're one of the greatest bowlers of this or any other generation. You just, didn't want to go on tour. That's all. You can pair it up with him on Majestic on the left.
Yes, me, Carl, Pete Savino, Sarah Hood, and then a split season between Autumn and Kayla, Fortunato and Clark. Looking forward to a really, really nice season this year with some good friends and some really, really good talent in a very competitive league.
Response to the earlier question: Manchester, New Hampshire.
All right, so Del, that's going to be a hard no because my sister is due with my first ever niece on September 19th.
Yep.
I also have to be in Pennsylvania for the rehearsal dinner for Eric and Steph's wedding on the 19th.
That's a hell of a weekend.
And I am ministering on September 20th and then staying there and then driving home on September 21st.
What if your sister goes into labor during Steph's wedding? What do we do?
Then I'll get to Steph and Eric's place earlier and make sure my hair doesn't look like this and be even more badass. But either way, I will not be in Manchester, New Hampshire. So please send my love to everybody there. What a great tournament that is.
Valerie says she's proud of you, Johnny. There's Pete Weber, there's Dick Weber, there's all-star bowlers everywhere, but there's just one JP. A class all your own. Love your bowling and love you.
Thank you, Valerie, and thank you for being here legit for the entire 3 years we've been doing this show. It's
for
people
real.
like you that like really, really make it worth it. So, Valerie, thank you very, very much.
We're making Steph cry tonight. That's
you know what? Steph doesn't realize how much she makes me cry. Earlier after she It sounded like she got teary-eyed when I told her about the new job, but shortly after we hung up the phone, because I had to call her and Eric first, she did send me a text, which I will read out loud to everybody here. Everybody, y'all. Just a moment. She wrote, "Do I need to give you the hard, tough love, don't fuck this opportunity up, or are we good?" And I wrote back, "If there is anybody I would want in the world to do it, it would be you." So,
that's right. She doesn't bullshit anybody.
No, she doesn't.
She's been there for all of it. So yeah, that's
Absolutely.
that's hilarious.
Absolutely.
Skyer says, "I'm an alcoholic was the hardest thing for me to admit, but once he did, it was so much easier." Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes you know it, but until you just speak it and put it out into the airwaves, it sinks in.
It's the hardest thing in the world, and it's what makes it even harder is just like any other addiction. If you're talking to somebody that doesn't understand it, all they want to do is tell you what they know when they know nothing.
Right.
It's when somebody comes up to you and says, in the bowling world, "How do you make the ball twist like that? Do I have to do this with my hand?" It's like, how? What do I say to this person now?
Yeah.
Or it's like the guy that puts his towel in his back pocket or dumps baby powder. It's like you already know, like from the outsider's perspective.
Or, hey, John, just stop drinking, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. Do me a favor. Stop watching Price is Right at 11 o'clock on every weekday. Exactly.
I had to.
Exactly. And I give a lot of respect to people that not only complete their own journeys in whatever capacity it is,
sure,
but I'll tell you what, man, the one thing I did learn through it all was you personally have to want a reason to. You do. It doesn't matter what anybody else says, and everybody here knows that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Somebody could tell you 100 times, "John, stop smoking cigarettes, John. It's going to kill you." You have all the evidence of it. Well, you know what, guys? I still smoke cigarettes. One day, when I can't breathe or I can't get up a staircase or something like that, maybe I'll come to my senses. I know it's coming, but I'm still going to smoke. I need that moment. I don't need somebody to tell me.
Yeah, no.
And right. It's tough, man. And that's what I've learned when it comes to addiction. Listen to what somebody has to say. Try and enter their world for just a few minutes. Try and figure out what they're thinking, not what you want to respond with.
We got our buddy Andrew Pfeffer in the chat from Bowling with the Pfeff. Is there any single competition situation where you feel that the challenge of left-handed bowling is truly equal to the challenge of right-handed bowling?
Pfeff, great to see you, man. I like to believe that's the case at every single tournament or house shot I bowl on. I like to believe that it's always truly equal. And I truly believe that with all these oil patterns that most of the time I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt and say they're trying to judge the slowness of the breakdown on the left compared to the right because of the lack of lefties compared to righties. I try and think logically, but as far as a challenge from left to right, the closest I've ever seen in my entire existence was the 2000 Brunswick Summer Classic when Yanafan something from Singapore or Malaysia, God, that's horrible that I just used those two countries together like they're so fucking close. But I remember that event, it took about a 215 average to make the finals, and the ratio of lefties to righties was proper based on the amount of entries from left to right. But as far as, no, it'll never be equal left to right because it's already off-centered to start. If 80% or 85% of your field is comprised by righties, in the first 5 minutes of practice, they're bowling on a totally different lane condition than the lefties are. And I've talked about this in past shows. I've always said, have a separate qualifying for just the lefties in the field and then the righties, and then you can throw them together and it'll still be unfair. But personally, no, I don't think there's ever an equal distribution right to left because there's too many variables and too many differences as far as how many are there.
Well, let me ask you this. Is there, this might be a stupid question, but I'm retarded, so... Is there a way to make a pattern with the amazing oil machines that we have now to where they could make it even. You know what I mean? Like, if they know there's going to be less lefties, at least make the left a little bit easier.
That kind of goes back to the point, Rob, because let's say you put out a perfectly symmetrical pattern. Let's just take a house pattern. If they're good on the left in the first frame, they're going to be good on the left in game 30. If they're shitty on the left in game 1, you're going to find 1 or 2 lefties that have figured it out, and the rest of the lefties are not going to get a check. You can't make them even left to right, especially with today's technology, because of the lack of traffic on one side compared to the other.
Well, so let's say, like, could you put like 15 mils on the left and then just put 25 mils on the right?
If you put on, so you put on 15 mils on the left, but there's only 18 lefties in the field.
Right.
There's never that transition where now all of a sudden they start to blend on the left where we can jump in. Because we either have to throw flames with very, very little RPMs up the track area and stay there like a Rick Lawrence, a Mike Scroggins, a new school Patrick Allen. You can't do what Parker did or Albee did or Steve Cook or my dad. You know, we could talk about lefty righty all day. They'll never be able to make them even week to week. But what they have figured out is when you look at the greats of all time, Earl Anthony's the greatest of all time according to numbers. Walter Ray is second, lefty righty. Then you got Norm Duke, Pete Weber, and Parker Bone. So you got 3 lefties and 2 righties, 3 righties and 2 lefties in the top 5. Just going from there. When you look at the top 50 of the PBA, you got about 8 lefties, 9 lefties, and the rest are righties, which is the ratio it should be.
Yeah.
And over time, numbers always seem to balance themselves out. So you can't. I've given up on the whole righty lefty thing. We're gonna have weeks where we kick your ass. You can't do anything about it, and there's gonna be weeks where the righties don't say a word because the lefties have no chance, and they know it.
Right.
And it sucks to be on either end of the coin. Look at what Parker said about the few weeks on tour this year where not a single lefty got a check for almost a month on the senior tour.
Yep.
You know, it's always going to be that constant battle. So the sooner you accept it, the same way the sooner you expect having string pins as compared to, say, free fall now, it's like it's the future of the game. You either evolve or you die. You go with it. You learn what's in front of you. And if you don't want to learn what's in front of you, just do me a favor and don't bitch about it. Just don't bitch about it.
Right.
Just let it be what it's going to be and either hop on the wagon or stay back here in the glory days like Bruce Springsteen used to sing.
I mean, you could say the same thing about string pins. People bitch about it and say, "Oh, I'm never going to bowl again." Well, okay, fine, good for you.
Fine.
Like, all right, see you later.
Don't bowl anymore, but you don't have to announce it and talk about how shitty they are.
Like you're departing, like you're leaving an airport, right?
Think about the amount of bowling alleys we've lost in the last 2 decades, and now these proprietors have a chance to not only revive their centers but save some money and also make some money. How about that?
It's a win for everybody.
Oh, another bowling alley gone, another bowling. Yeah, you want to keep dwelling on the reason we're losing all of them? How about we just do something to contribute to the 2 million members that are actually left?
That's true. No, you're absolutely right. You mentioned a new career move. Care to give us a hint or share any info?
Oh, so obviously, it's just Ocho's coming back. He's coming back with the milk. Come back with the milk, Howard Hughes, the aviator. The new career move is I'm going to work with my dear friend Nick D'Ambrosio at the marina down in Lanoka Harbor in Lacey. I'm going to learn how to operate the travel lift, the hydraulics, winterize the boats, do all that good stuff. And
that's awesome.
Be on the water every single day, and I'm really, really excited about it.
I knew that was a possibility. I heard a rumor that was going to happen, but it's good to see that it actually came through.
Yeah, so I can't praise that man and that entire family enough for what they've done for me. The same as you, Rad Rob, and Ocho have done for me as well. So, yeah.
Billy B's in house. What's up, brother?
Big B, great to see you, brother.
Wayne Chester, your father took to a bunch of us, all left-handers, to lunch during the 91 Carolier stop. Stayrook, Salvenemy, Forkel, Wolf, and himself. That's a hell of a crowd right there.
That's a pretty fantastic crowd right there. And I should have mentioned Richie Wolf earlier as far as one of the bowlers that I admired the most growing up. And, everybody always wants to talk about Richie was the guy that anybody who's never seen Richie Wolf throw a ball, go pull up a video and tell me how a physical game like that and a calm nature that man possesses never won a PBA title. it's one of the most remarkable things in the world to look at somebody that talented and say, how did this man not win 30 titles? But yeah, that's a good group there. And Just Stay Rook,
I love
just
Just
like
Stay
Mike Albee, man.
Yeah.
Smelt blood. Another one of the 710 conversions. Joe Salvemini, him and I remained friends even when I was out in Vegas. Eric Forkla and I worked together for Bowlers Mart at the shops out at Texas Station and Sunset Station. So that's a nice group, and it's nice to see here 30-something years later that those names pop up. So
that's really cool. Hey, we got Clifton Don in the house.
I do.
God, I love that. I'm glad that Kyle loved that too. I was so afraid I was going to get beaten up for that, but he's a good sport. That's really good questions tonight, John. I actually have a couple. You mentioned baseball earlier, and you're too young. You had an offer handed to you. Do you regret that?
No, I don't. Maybe in the moment I regretted what I thought I was doing. But
I mean, have you tried to imagine where your life would have gone had you accepted that route?
No, I don't.
No
think
butterfly
about it
effect
like that.
stuff. Okay.
No, to tell you the truth, I'll flat out say I fell in love with other things at the ripe old age of 19, 20 years old, and the atmosphere I was in, the places I was in.
Sure.
Between Moorhead State and Youngstown State and Felician College and Rutherford and Monmouth University. I mean, I was having the time of my life when I gave up baseball.
Yeah.
And no, I don't really think about it that much anymore. I tell you the truth, I really don't even miss baseball. I enjoy watching baseball. I don't miss it very much, though.
Interesting.
No, fortunately.
Any other sports other than baseball and bowling that you were good at or like to play? Other than golf, obviously, but I mean, other than those three.
I obviously love golf. I thought I was a pretty fantastic ping pong table tennis player. Sorry, Walter Ray. I thought I was a pretty good table tennis player until Walter Ray analyzed my stroke for maybe 6 whips over the net and then decided to demolish me 21-3, 21-4 in Bill Moore's basement. So he used to think I was good at that. But no, I mean, I've always been okay. I've always been an athletic person. I've always been good at pretty much other than ice skating.
Yeah.
Don't ever ask me to go ice skating. Or if you do, just have the camera ready. But
why? Weak ankles or just never got the hang of it?
No, I just fall. I just fall forward.
Okay.
Or I fall backwards. And
it's not for everybody.
I look like a beached whale when it happens too. And then all the kids laugh at me. And then I'll grab the thing to help stay sturdy and try and chase the kids.
I've been there.
And then I can't catch them, and they make fun of me even more.
I get it. Roller skates the same way?
No, I'm good on skates. I'm better on blades than I am on skates, but I'm good on blades.
Huh. That's interesting. I never knew that. What is Walter Ray not good at?
He's not good at sports history.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay.
Walter Ray is not good when it comes to... He's the Jeopardy contestant that, the second category says 1990s sports, and they get every question wrong. You just hear... Pop, pop, pop.
That actually was a show. I saw a clip of that, of an entire panel.
That's Walter.
Not knowing anything, and Alex is like, really, guys?
He has a hard time with sports history, but he'll answer every other question in the regular and double Jeopardy rounds. And then he'll go for it all in Final Jeopardy and get that right, too.
That's hilarious, dude. That is hilarious. What's your favorite food?
Oh, boy, my favorite food. Jesus.
What's your go-to?
Probably pizza, I would say. At the end of the day, it's always... I like pizza. I love
what
steak.
Kind of? What New York style, deep dish, Detroit style?
Tell you the truth, I'm more of a New Haven guy myself.
I kind of figured that.
Give me a little Frank Pepe every day of the week, and I'm just fine.
You know, it's funny. I grew up in Northern Connecticut, pretty much my whole life. Never had New Haven pizza. Never went south and had New Haven pizza ever.
Dude, it changed my life. Sitting in those booths, watching the weird way that they cut the pie.
It charred, though. It's like Portnoy loves it. That's Portnoy's favorite pizza.
Alex Aguiar, my dear friend and one of my groomsmen when I was married, took me there for the first time ever. And another dear friend, Jamie Smith, who I bowled with all through JBTs in the Northeast. Those are the first 2 experiences I had there. Then I remember going into a place in Dartmouth, Massachusetts, and getting myself a coffee milk out of like their local Wawa,
Right.
which I've to this day never seen coffee milk anywhere else.
It's true.
And then Alex Aguiar, with his Portuguese roots, introduced me to what is that Portuguese meat, and they throw it on chorizo. Chorizo on pizza in Dartmouth and New Bedford, Massachusetts. Those are, but I'd say pizza or steak. If I'm weightlifting, it's steak. If I'm just being a regular guy, give me all the pizza you got.
You can't go wrong with steak, honestly. Are you a medium rare guy?
Because we're past the hour mark.
True. How do you like your steak done?
When I was weightlifting, it was just fuel, so I would just throw it on top of a bed of white rice. But if I'm going out to a steakhouse, I'm a medium guy.
Yeah, me too.
I'm a medium guy.
My wife kills it. She likes it well done and puts A1 all over. I'm like, why get steak? You literally just, it makes no sense to me.
Speaking of you said earlier, just because I saw his name in the chat, Steve Sauce.
Yes.
Earlier, when you were going back to the whole the thing, this is one of the men that was in my corner from day one. So, Steve, I wanted to make sure I gave you a shout out because you're definitely one of the good ones, brother. Thank you for being here tonight.
Favorite color?
Green. Always been green.
Really?
Yep. Any shade of green. Seafoam, forest, standard. It doesn't matter. Hunter.
Teal?
I like green.
You like teal?
Teal, obviously. Teal Rhino Pro. Let's go.
I loved San Jose Sharks uniforms when they first came out. Ask my parents, Rad Rob. When the Marlins and the Rockies joined MLB, I was decked out in Marlins gear. Jeff Conine, Gary Sheffield, 1993. Let's go. That's awesome. All right, I don't see any other questions. Clifton said he went to Mystic Pizza in Rhode Island. That's a fantastic pizza.
Also a great movie.
Yes, it is a great movie. He also went to Popeyes last week and thought of me. Skyers had the pleasure to meet Mike Scroggins at the BJ last month. Super nice guy. He is. He's one of the best, man. He's not only one of the best bowlers, but one of the best people in the world. Shout out to Mike Scroggins. You mentioned Michael J. Fox and getting to play Super Mario Brothers with him and stuff like that. Was he legit cool, or do you think he was just trying to be? I don't want to say
no.
fake.
He was one of the guys.
He was.
He was also very similar characteristics to Dad in the very, very gentle nature. Always wanted to make sure everybody around him was okay. I'll tell you the true dream boats that I've had the pleasure of talking to and bowling with are Mike Piazza, John Franco.
Hey, buddy.
God, who did you say before I said those two names?
Michael J. Fox.
Evander Holyfield and Jerome Bettis. Those are probably the two that were just. I mean, Jerome Bettis is second to none. Evander was the same way, but
at
the end of the day, Rob, God, I hate that I've used that term twice, but at the end of the day, for the third time, everybody's a real person. Everybody goes through the same shit. Everybody. And I want to actually, one more time, I'll thank you next, Rad Rob. I want to thank Dave again for even suggesting to interview me on my own show. I thought it was a little bit self-centered, but
I'm
actually kind of glad we did it, and I'm glad that you welcomed it the way that you did and presented such a great show. So,
well, I appreciate that, man. And I mean, there's a lot that I don't know about you. I've known you for 3-4 years now, and it's we never actually had a real heart to heart conversation. I've never had to be able to. I mean, we've always had somebody else on the show, and I've never been able to ask you anything. So, I had a blast tonight. I really did. It was a really good show.
So did I, brother. And I'm sorry I kind of grabbed everything. I'm kind of not used to this, and the way I ramble already. So I could listen to you talk for hours.
Thank you. It's that smoky. You can't quit smoking because you'll lose your smoky, sexy voice too. I like listening. I could listen to you read the phone book off.
That's why Ocho left again. He got the wrong milk. So now
he got 2% instead of 1%.
He's
I get
going
it.
back.
No, I get
I'll
it.
take another question from Jules before we sign off because she's so awesome.
With my first adult league starting next week, I have trouble with seeing lane changes, when to switch balls, and trusting myself with changes I think I should make and still get hesitant. Do you have any tips for that?
Yes, I do, Jules. You're a good enough bowler to know when your ball is going through the pins incorrectly. The greatest person you could possibly watch is Anthony Simonson. Anthony Simonson could bowl, or John Janowitz. There's just two quick names for you, Simo or JJ. Those guys have zero fear when it comes to changing balls. If they go flat 10, they have absolutely no problem changing balls completely, changing zones. But all they're ever trying to do, and all the best bowlers in the world are ever trying to do, is throw a strike, which nobody knows how to actually do. Everybody knows how to get to the pocket, but the way to strike is getting the ball through the pins the right way. So do not worry about, if I change balls, this grip's a little bit too small, or I know that I'm going to grab it because the thumb is slipping out, or the last 8 times I threw this ball, I left a big 4. It doesn't matter. Because if you go spare, open, spare, and you've got 40 in the 3rd frame, it doesn't really matter if you split in the 5th frame or even the 6th frame, because you're still giving yourself an opportunity to make that game a little bit better. So just remember, you want the ball to look like it's going downhill once it's at the break point. If you see a flat 10, don't be afraid to cheat a couple boards right on the approach. Square up your angles a little bit. If you see the ball starting to fart and you're starting to leave like blower 7s, or you just keep on plaque, go to a ball that's got a little bit more angle or guts down lane. Don't be afraid to change balls, especially nowadays when you have every single motion you could possibly think of at your beck and command at any time. That's the best I can do. And Cliff, thank you very, very much for the compliment, brother. I appreciate that. And Justin, Julian, Dave, everybody else in the chat, this was a lot of fun for me and Evelyn, who has finally hit the cutoff, man. Say hi.
Yes. Good job, Evelyn.
Yes.
She's so cute.
So thank you guys very much. And Rob, thank you again. This was a blast.
Absolutely, brother. Anytime. I would love to do this again. Maybe episode 268. We'll do it again.
Looking forward to it.
If we're still here. Lord willing and the creek don't rise.
Lord willing, brother.
But thanks everybody for coming out tonight. I'm looking forward to next week. Yeah, I literally took the words out of my mouth, brother. Always look forward to.
It must have been while you were kissing me. Come on, man. That was a Meatloaf reference. Get it together.
I'm not a fan. Sorry, not a fan.
Oh God, ew. End the show, Rob. You're
okay.
horrible.
We're out. We're out of here, guys. Thanks for hanging out. All great questions tonight. We do appreciate our wonderful crew here. They are the best. Thank you, Mr. B. We appreciate it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll be back next week for another edition of Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. and hopefully Dr. Ocho. We'll be back with the right milk, and we'll see him next week. This is literally the least amount of talking Dr. Ocho's ever had on the show.
You know, Ocho's always wearing at least three or 4 hats.
He is.
He's either putting together the punching bag, taking care of the pool, taking care of the baby, making sure the wife's good. He's a man of many trades, a jack of all trades.
He's a super
Thank you,
guy.
Jules. Thanks for being here.
I do.
One more I do for the end of the night. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week. Later, Johnny. Later, guys. Good night,
See you next
everybody.
week.
Thanks for listening to this edition of Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. You can follow the show on Twitter at Straight Up 5 Pod. Follow Johnny Jr. at JPJR07. Follow Rad Rob at Rad Rob Gaming. And follow Dr. Ocho at the Dr. Ocho. Got a question for Johnny? Send your questions to straightup5podcast@gmail.com. We'll see you next time for another edition of Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. Right here on the Rad